I do want to talk about accessibility because that's a big part of my channel, and a lot of what I do is I share. Also, if y'all hear the squeaking, it's because I've got a stress ball in my hand. That's what the squeaking is. Sorry about that. Anyways, so variable disabilities. My disability is invisible. Like, you look at me, you don't, I look normal. And I have a cane, but most people assume that I just like tweaked my ankle or something. And, or that I'm being a hipster. They don't assume that I actually need it. But I need everything from a cane to a wheelchair. And even times I don't need the cane. Actually, like when I am at home, I do not use my cane. My cane stays in, I've got a couple. One for sometimes I have to use a cane when I'm at home, but like otherwise it stays in the corner. And then one for my general use. I don't go outside without my cane, but when I'm inside, I don't use it. And by the way, the reason I can get away with this inside is that I know the house. I know the floor. I know where it dips. I know where it rises. So it's not, I'm not at risk of falling as much as I would be outside. And even though I'm chronically dizzy, like I am dizzy 24/7, that does not go away. This is why I called myself Dizzy Great Spells. But even though I'm dizzy, like I walk like you would expect someone heavily drunk to look like. It's just people, if I don't walk without a cane, I am all over the place, and people are like, whoa, that person's drunk. Let's go call the cops. Yes, this has happened. This is not me being this is pedantic or hyperbolic. I have actually had people call the cops on me because they thought I was drunk. So, and it doesn't help that, like, I also have the stutter, and when my head gets really bad, I slur my words. So yeah, it's not a great look. This is part of the reason I started using the cane before. I didn't rely on the cane as much when I initially got it, but it stopped people calling the cops on me. That's part of the reason why I got it. Now I use it a lot more. I use it a lot heavier, and that's because like I've learned to walk as dizzy as I am, and mostly out of spite. I get up and out of bed, and spite is what drives me. But yeah, hi Scott, welcome on in. So, but there are days where it gets worse, and it can actually get worse in the blink of an eye. I can be like walking around and barely using my cane, and then take a step and boom, I'm on the ground. This can change very suddenly. That's one of the other reasons why even when I'm feeling good, I take the cane with me, because of how quick I can go from okay to not okay. I also have, thank you chat, for those of you who are new and do not know, one of the very first things that happened in my stream, like one of the first big events, was I needed a rollator. And unfortunately, I had to pay for that out of my own pocket. And so I came and I did like a subathon, a drawathon, to donating tips and shiz. And I'd picked out like this rollator, and even the cheap one was like $100. And so I did one stream for that, and I was like, well, I need this in 4 months. There's an event that I'm going to that I cannot attend without a rollator. It's not happening. And on the very, very first day, y'all raised enough money for me to afford the rollator. And I was like, oh, Spells, what are you getting? And I'm like, oh, well, I picked this one. And, you know, it's not like top of the line. It's a cheap, but, you know, I don't use the rollator very often, so cheap works. And chat was like, no, Spells. No, cheap is not okay. Get better. And so I was like, no, I'm not gonna get better. It's fine. Chat was like, no, do better. It's like, fine, you fuckers. So I went in and I looked up the most expensive top of the line rollator I could find on the internet. And I went up next stream, slapped that bad boy on stream, and went, here it is. It's like $250. This is the best I could find. Y'all raised that money. I have the best rollator on the market because of y'all. And I have used that rollator. That rollator has saved my life. I love that rollator. That rollator is my baby. and I adore it, and I was so scared when the car crashed with it in it, and I was really worried that was gonna get like hurt, and thankfully it wasn't, but like, thank y'all are the best. Anyways, but there are days when I have to do the rollator. Like if I'm going on a long trip, rollator goes in the car. If I'm going somewhere where I know I'm gonna have some issues, rollator goes in the car. The rollator is really, really, really important, and eventually I will need a wheelchair. And this goes into the progressive part of my condition, is I will never get better. Better does not happen. This is not a better situation. I have learned to control it a little bit. So originally I was just in free fall. I was going, woo, that was my trajectory. But now that I've got a good doctor and I've got some good medication on, I have turned that free fall into a bit of a gentle slide, one should say. And so I've got the seizures under control. I take aspirin to prevent another stroke. But that slide is still going. What's a rollator? A rollator is a walker with wheels and a seat. So like walkers, you use them when the cane is not enough. If like you are so bad, you cannot use the cane because it just don't do the job, you go and you grab a walker. But walkers, you still gotta lift them, you still gotta like move them forward, and that's also, there's no seat. There's no seat, and that's one of my other issues, is I cannot stand in line. I can't stand for very long. I can walk, well, okay, I can't walk for days, but like, when I'm okay, I can walk for days, but standing, nuh-uh, that's not happening. So like, even on my good day, standing in line, no, it just don't do. I'm very bad at that. So rollators have wheels. You do not need to pick them up. They've got wheels on them. They've got seats. Mine actually comes with a handy dandy little bag, and that can like it's a little purse bag that you can like, that velcros to the bottom of the seat, and when you lift that seat up, there is not one, there's 2 cup holders. My rollator has 2 cup holders. It's amazing. And it has a really nice adjustable seat back that I love. And it's got like these little things in front that I can like put my arms on to rest my arms. And it's got a pouch underneath where I can shove my backpack and stuff. And my portable cane. I love it. I love it. It's amazing. It's got memory foam seating and antibacterial, antifungal like exterior. It's fantastic. My rollator's the best thing ever. Thank y'all for getting my rollator for me. I love it. Anyways, where was I? I got distracted by the rollator question. I was talking about variable disabilities and how, like, there are, as I said, there are days where I can just wander around and I'm fine. And then there are days like the last 2 days. So yesterday was the easier day. Yesterday I did a lot of stumbling. I spent most of the day in bed, and I could not talk. Y'all have actually witnessed my days where I cannot talk. There have been a couple days where I'm like, I can't talk, but like otherwise I'm not too bad, so I'm just gonna stream. I'm just gonna sit there and make noises, because I'm neurodivergent in one way or another, and you know, making noises is half my vocabulary anyways. So I'm just gonna sit there and trill at y'all and go make happy noises. That's what I did. Or when y'all do something like that's unholy, I make angry noises. And that was yesterday. That was my experience yesterday. I just kind of sat around and went, and if I felt like it, I could have probably done a different language. Like so what that is that's called aphasia. And that's when something happens to the speech center of the brain and just knocks it the fuck out. It's just gone. Also, apparently I've just decided that YouTube can go fuck itself because it's not gonna like this topic anyway, so whatever. Anyway, the point is that the aphasia knocks my English specifically out. And the reason why it's English specifically is that is my native language. That's the language I think in. That's the language I talk in most of the time. I know a couple other languages though. Badly. I know them very badly. I am terrible at those languages. But because I'm terrible at those languages, they have to go through like a different center of the brain for me to use them, which means the aphasia doesn't hit them. So I can talk in Japanese, I can talk in Spanish, and I can use ASL. I have access to those 3 languages. But the thing about it is that, like, when my head is like that, I actually think differently than I do normally. Like, normally I think in full freaking sentences. I have entire conversations with myself in my head. But when the aphasia hits, I think in pictures and vague concepts. It's really weird. And I also tend to be very sensitive to sound and light at that point as well. I mean, I'm always sensitive to sound and light, but it's like ramped up to like a 10. So I don't like to talk. And that's where actually the ASL comes in, but I was alone most of the day, so ASL just didn't happen. I spent the whole day quiet. That was fine. I like that. That was good. Well, I mean, not entirely quiet. I watched YouTube videos and binged Mech Cadets, but like, you know, mostly quiet. Yeah, so then, but the day before, so yesterday was I've had days like yesterday, they're not uncommon, but the day before that was very, very tough. And the day before that is what really, really got me into wanting to talk about this. In that one of the issues with progressive conditions is that new things arise. A lot. Every year, something new, I lose something else. So every year, there's a new thing that occurs. One year, it was the epilepsy that just randomly started. One year, it was the aphasia. I didn't always have the aphasia, that came in. Another year, I lost my ability to ride roller coasters. So I actually remember my last roller coaster because I knew that I was going downhill. But I was at a point where I could still do that kind of thing. And so my boyfriend at the time and we went specifically to a roller coaster theme park with the anticipation that would be my last roller coaster. So I did get to say goodbye to roller coasters. That was very nice. But I lost the ability to ride roller coasters. There's things that I have just lost. And one of the things I am starting to lose are my legs. And what happens is it's really hard to explain, but it's kind of like the connection from my brain to my legs slows down, and it becomes weaker and weaker until I cannot use my legs anymore. And my life is not currently built around not having legs. So, because this isn't something that occurs very often. It's occurred before, and it's starting to occur more and more often. And I'm in a new place too. Like I moved a couple months ago, which is good enough for me to learn how to walk around in the house. No, I don't know how to not have legs in this house yet. So I spent most of the day in bed. I didn't bother trying to wander around, but it got to dinner time and I needed to eat. And I could, but how do you eat when you can't reach stuff in the fridge? Like I can reach lower things, but higher thing, not happening. And not to mention, like, the stuff that I needed to eat needed to be warmed up. I had chili in the fridge, which is its own problem when I'm feeling very bad, because chili is delicious. I love chili. Chili is also a lot. It's very, very stimulating, and my head, when it's like that, does not like stimulating. So between the not liking stimulating and the fact that I cannot reach the microwave when I cannot stand, it was like, okay, I need to have food ordered. So I ordered some food. I ordered some Panera bread. It was very yummy. I had a tuna sandwich and broccoli and cheddar. And it came. And then I went, oh shit. I need to get downstairs. The door is downstairs. How do I do this? And then, because I can't sit at the table, I'm too unsteady for that, I had to bring it back upstairs. So the problem became, how do I go downstairs without legs and then grab my food, grab all the utensils I needed, and grab something to drink and haul it back upstairs? So it became, my arms got a great workout that day where I could like crawl for a little bit. As I did this, I had the ability to crawl, and then the more I physically pushed myself, the harder it became, until eventually I was just dragging my ass. I couldn't even get up onto a crawl. The dog was really excited though. Like I got onto all fours. The dog was like, play, 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 play. And then she noticed that I wasn't feeling good, and she's like, oh, no play. You are not good. She followed me the entire way just to make sure I was okay. But we got down. I grabbed my foot. I butt scooted my way over to the closet where there were that's where we keep the grocery bag, so I grabbed one of those. And I stuck my shiz in the grocery bag, and I just scooted my way through the kitchen. And I grabbed like a plate, I grabbed some utensils, I used my arms to haul myself a little bit up and grab a soda, because I was sick, and so we had soda on board. That's not a thing I normally have, but it was okay. I got my soda. And then I scooted my way up to the stairs and proceeded to army crawl up the stairs. I said, when I say my arm gonna work out, my arm's gonna work out. But it like when you don't have access to your legs, it turns a lot of very mundane tasks into giant hurdles. Like, how do I go to the bathroom when I can't get my butt off the floor? How do I brush my teeth when the sink is above my head? How do I get back into bed, which is like 2 feet off the ground? So these are things that I have to learn how to do. And I've done some of them before, some of them were new hurdles. But it just brought up this point in that there are a lot of people who tell me, hey, you don't look all that sick. Or those who are in my life who know me very well, even they're like, well, you're getting better, right? And even though I say it a lot, it doesn't really process that, no, I'm not getting better. Like, even though I have this doctor and I'm taking all these medications to help control these things, I'm not getting better. And it's days like the other day that really kind of hammer that home. That, you know, and again, this lack of leggies, it's happening more and more often. But you know, today I got up and I wandered around and I'm walking around just fine. And that's the thing, is that I also see like other people on threads and Twitter and shiz who have progressive conditions like mine. And there are people who are like, oh, well, you have a wheelchair, but I saw you stand up, therefore you are faking needing a wheelchair. No, it's a variable condition. Some days you need the wheelchair, some days you don't need the wheelchair. Or even if it's not a variable condition, sometimes it's just like, I can stand for 5 minutes. And that's it. So I can get up and grab the thing that I need, but then I gotta go right back into that wheelchair. So basically the point of me saying this story is both to educate on what it's like to have a variable condition, just how wildly that needle can swing with your symptoms, going from, no, I could dance. I'm playing Just Dance and hopping around doing just fine, to I am dragging my butt across the ground because my legs do not work. And just sort of, I guess the big point is, you know, listen to disabled people. You know, when they say I need help, help them. When they say I don't need help, leave them alone. And when it looks like they maybe aren't when it looks like they have something like a wheelchair but aren't using it, they probably have that wheelchair for a very good reason. Also, wheelchairs are super expensive. Like, my rollator was almost $300. No one's gonna buy a $300 rollator just to pretend like they need a rollator. No, and wheelchairs go all the way up to tens of thousands of dollars. No one's gonna buy a wheelchair just to fake it. That's not happening. So that's sort of the first point that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. Well, I guess the first big topic that I wanted to bring everyone's attention to, and just outline it. I might make this a YouTube video. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a YouTube video. So basically, lesson of the day is progressive conditions are really weird. Things can be very variable. And just sort of listen to disabled people when they say they need help, or when they tell you to go fuck yourself. End of video. I'm gonna so make that segment into a YouTube video. I am planning 100% on doing that. I like that video. All right, that's gonna be fun. Am I gonna edit it? Absolutely not. I don't have the energy for editing. When is editing?